Good morning. This is Vaughan in Nova Scotia. I'm going to unpack a kiln, which I didn't expect to do. Actually, but I say good morning for, it's actually good evening. I was going to unpack this tomorrow morning, but it cooled down a little faster than I thought. So these are some mugs from previous firings that I was just cleaning up the bottoms of. I always fire on stilts, so I have to knock off the bottom where there's three little sharp bits, so I just ground off all those today. These are the Sculptural ones. I actually did a video carving one of these. You can see them there. So these are going to get boxed up, I guess, until we actually decide whether we're going to open this summer when the tourist season starts, if there will be one this year. But so those are the ones there, and let's turn this around. This is a Bailey shelf, which I really love. I think they still make them, but there you go. So these are some mugs that I took out of the kiln, and I was glazing in a video with these the other day, so you can get a look at what these look like. The glazes turned out beautiful. And there's that bright yellow I've talked about before. I have a few of them down here. I'll bring a close-up for you. The colors are really pretty in these. This is Tenmaku Gold and my oatmeal, and also mouse grey, which is in some of the Cone 6 books. This is tomato red with I think it's variegated blue over the top. These are all glaze recipes you can find in books. Oh dear, there you go. Tenmaku Gold again. Get an idea of the actual way it kind of crystallizes out when you cool the kiln down slowly. This is one I did some brush work on. I used variegated blue and Tenmaku Gold and tomato red a lot. I have lots of glazes, about 20 different ones altogether. This is my speckled oatmeal. Actually, it's speckled oatmeal with my other oatmeal dipped over the rim. And there's my other oatmeal that doesn't have a speckle in it. And then blue, green, copper, red. There's a lot of recipes for that on the internet, with my basic matte green on the underside of it. I like this one. The glaze, I did a little quick brush stroke, but it melted down nicely. Anything else? No, I guess that's it for those. Let's take you back over here. See what we can see here. I'll get you as close as you can. So this kiln is just cooling down, so things might be a little bit hot in there actually. Let's see, it's at 149 degrees Fahrenheit, which is shower bath water temperature. Just about 145 is what I think they set hot water at. Slow you down a touch. Oh, that's a bit better. All right, so I hope everybody's healthy and getting through all this lockdown and such. We're in week 5, I guess now, so they're talking to me. I can hear them. Now, if you remember in a previous video, I did a video on painting with slips, slip trailing, brushwork, using an iron slip, a white slip, and a black slip. And so all of these pieces are glazed with glazes that are semi-transparent, slightly translucent, so that all of that slip decoration will show through, but in a very subtle way. And one thing I wanted to show you, it looks like it's pretty good, except for one piece. Is it this one? Nope. Where did I put it? Yeah, here it is. See how easy I picked that one up off the kiln shelf? This one ran. And so on the bottom, there's this area here, it ran. And it normally, they would stick to the kiln shelf and, you know, hopefully the backwash lets it come off in one piece, or maybe not. But these are those advanced kiln shelves. Whenever a glaze runs, it doesn't stick to the shelf. You don't have to backwash the shelves. It will just lift right off the shelf. And you still have to sand or grind this edge here that's melted down. But that's another advantage. This is a $25, $26 T-ball, which would normally be cracked and broken, and I can sand the bottom and I can still sell it. So the kiln shelf, though very expensive, just saved me 25 bucks and all that. So and this app, you know, if you're all potters, you know that you get glaze runs every so often. But anyway, this is the white slip that I slip trailed over a creamy white clay body. So you can see the white slip showed up in a very subtle way, where it's pretty beautiful, you know, quite nice there. So let's put that one down. Here's one that I probably did the brown or the actual black slip, I can't remember which, but it showed up through, this is my oatmeal with some green double dipped over it, and it's got mouse grey on the bottom there, but that one turned out really, really pretty. Not too hot to pick up anyway. This is Tenmoku Gold on the bottom of it, and that's my matte green. It's a semi-matte green that I use, and the slip, you can just see it, how it broke, a little white line going down there, and then you've got something I did on the bottom, like a little darker color there. So the glaze is actually breaking nicely over the slip, and that's what I was looking for basically. Oh, this one I did when I was throwing it, you probably saw I used a flicking motion to dent the piece, so you've got the kind of varied surface, so it's nice to hold because it's not smooth. And then I did brush strokes on this one with the slips, and you can see how the glaze melted down over those brush strokes of iron and black. And I don't know if I have any white slip on this one or not, but this one turned out really sweet too. This is the mouse grey, and I had some white slip underneath this one too, so it doesn't look like I had any brown or black in there. It was mostly the white slip, and then I have my matte green glaze underneath there, and I probably dipped the oatmeal, yes, because it's going to yellow a little bit, so there's a little of the yellow oatmeal on there as well, but that white slip shows through really nicely. Don't you love T-balls? This one is variegated blue, and then I have the oatmeal over the top, and then the green on the bottom there too. I was showing you how I glaze these in multiple layers, and there's some black, by the look of it, slip that was slip trailed in lines going down. This one was the blue, green, copper, red. You'll find that recipe all over the internet too. And then I did my oatmeal over the top of it as well. So it was just a dip. There's no slip work on this piece. But the green, I have a dark evergreen that I use, that I put on the bottom, which is a traditional, that bright dark copper green that you'll get glazes. They used to make medicine bottles in that, I think. And there you go, green. And then you've got the mouse grey, and then the oatmeal. This was my lemon yellow oatmeal that I did over the top. It's actually more of a yellow glaze, and over the grey it kind of went nice. It has a sort of lime green kind of hint to it there. And then I slip trail brown lines across in that direction. You can see the way that it flicked across. They're very evident in that area there. It's hard to judge the light since I can't see the screen very easily. Now this one, oh, very nice. This was the iron slip that was brushed across the piece, and then I actually took the black and just skipped the surface a little bit, and so it has a double dark, almost looks green in places where the black was thin maybe. mouse grey underneath there. And I think I glazed this with several different glazes in the upper area. I think maybe I used the blue. Yeah, it could be just the blue, bright blue glaze. It's funny how they react. This one everybody knows, it's Tenmaku Gold. And with the slip in a kind of crisscross and also going vertically. So that's a really rich surface. Oh, very nice. Tenmaku Gold again. And then I have another brown that I use. I've got tomato red, and I also have another Harris Tenmaku, which I'm not sure if that was which one that one was. But there's my green that I like the green. I put it on a lot of pieces. It has a very landscape feel to it. Tenmaku Gold and bright blue. And then there's some slip trailing obviously going around in a loop. I'm not sure if I did that at the same time when I did the video of it, but oh, very matte green with some white slip trailing lines, and you can feel it that way, but it didn't break through this green glaze, maybe a little too opaque, but it shows the white nicely. But for the other black and brown, maybe it's not showing it as well. And this was just a dipped piece in several different glazes. But when I was throwing it, I did dent the T-ball as it was slowly spinning. So that's a nice one. You can hold that nicely. And there's my creamy oatmeal without the speckle. You can see the slip trail lines quite easily on that piece. The brown is sort of a little bit sort of receded, and the blacks seem to go a little green with this oatmeal. Good to remember. The inside's very sweet, nice creamy color on the inside of that one. Oh, another one that melted a little bit on, but see, it just lifts right off the surface. So these shelves, that's $50 straight away. Yeah, this Kiln shelf saved me. I know they're expensive to buy, but I think within a year you'll end up paying for themselves with pieces that you don't lose. The center of that one's really nice too. There you go, another green, and that's actually my, I think that's tomato. It could be Harris Tenmaku on the underside there. The slip trail lines have sort of receded in that one too, so the green glaze tends to cover them up, but you can just see them occasionally, so it adds interest to the surface, even most of them got covered up. Okay, let's lift this shelf if it's not too hot. Just right. Okay, now I had, oh, very sweet. This is one of the teapots. Actually, these ones are talking to me. This is one of those whale teapots you could see in the background of the video. So you can see the water. I was painting the glazes on this one to give an effect of water, so I was using a paintbrush. That's a little hot to pick up. I can pick it up, but I wouldn't want to hold it for very long. But that's a nice seaside type of teapot with the whale jumping. Can you hear the tinking? I multiple glaze a lot of pieces. Another lid for one of my teapots. They're nice whales going on here. That's variegated blue, that one, for sure. Oh, Tenmaku Gold again with the slip trailing. Let's hold this close so you can see the lines. There's sort of dancing lines going around. The Apple iPad that I'm using focuses really quickly on the pieces. I'm really happy with this iPad. It's only the cheap one too. They have a new one coming out I'm thinking about. Not this year though, the way things are going. Oh, nice. There's the slip trail lines again. White slip trail lines show up through that green quite well. We should start dancing to all this talking that's going on with these glazes. It's a really large planter in here. You saw, I did a video of me. Ooh, just browns, but really subtle changes and color variations into the rim up here, and then down there where they change. I'm going to move it so you can maybe just get a hint of that color change. Oh well, I wonder which one. That I think is my deep green. That's that evergreen that I use, and it's just copper carbonate or copper oxide. I can't remember which one, in a transparent glaze. But then with the tomato red underneath, and then the slip trail lines, vertical. The black I think shows through really well there, and then you've got the white ones going across. I can't quite tell whether if I did any brown. I think it was just black and white lines. So I think maybe there were some brown in there. But then you've got some nice crystals coming out in the glaze too. There are so many glazes available on the internet. It's I'm wondering about this year whether I should simply start playing with glazes instead of making lots of pottery. If we're locked down most of the summer. This is my oatmeal, and then the mouse grey with variegated blue on the underside. All in Cone 6 glazes, that book. But this one tends to go lime green over the top of this variegated blue by the look of it there. Got a little hint of lime green in there, so you can get it close up. There you go. Let's lift these out. There's one more back down there. This is just my oatmeal with a speckle. That's got some ilmenite. That's how I get the speckle in my oatmeal glaze. Just throw in some ilmenite. That's a nice one too. How hot is this? It's not too bad, but it's talking to me. Let's see if I can move my teapot out of the way. Okay, can you see the inside? This is 10 Maku gold, and I did a little blue in the bottom of that one. Nobody's ever going to see that blue. I mean, it's just it's irresistible to just do too much, I guess. But so I got my oatmeal over the top of the 10 Maku gold. The outside is very sweet too. I'm planting a lot of vegetables this summer. I think it'll be a quiet summer, so I may as well do a lot of gardening. So I'm planting everything I've got. You can see actually on my Facebook page, you will see a lot of photographs. So just type Vaughan L. Smith into Facebook and you'll see all my postings. But I've got a really nice large 400 square foot raised bed area that I'm doing. This plant is gorgeous, yeah. Let's see, I think this one might be a bit hot. Yeah, that one's a little hot, but I'm going to see if I can lift it. It says it's only 140 degrees. See, they're very thin. Here's the advances. If you decide to check into it, just tell Jim Bailey Vaughan Smith sent you. Maybe he'll give me a free bag of clay someday. Alright. Can you hear all my pots tinking? Another whale teapot lid. That's that Tenmoku gold. I wondered which piece was doing all that. But the big planter with Tenmoku gold on it, and it had lots of other glazes put on there. So not all of them are fitting that well, I guess, but they'll just end up being a little crazed. Oh, this looks good. Oh, look at that. It's on fire. So what caused that? I know it's Tenmoku gold over the top, and my guess is it's the brown slip, which is really rich in iron, and that's causing it to go those yellow flashing. But that is gorgeous. Too bad nobody's coming to see them this summer, eh? I know you probably all heard of Nova Scotia over the weekend because we had that mass killing here. It's so unlike Nova Scotia. I mean, we moved here and it's so quiet and really beautiful. And I think somebody just, you know, went nuts. I mean, he basically, it probably isn't his usual self either, but something snapped. It's just awful. Anyway, there you go. There's my bright blue over that green again. There you go. There's a lid for this one I took out earlier. There you go. So this is a variegated blue teapot. And I paint the glazes over the top, as I said, to give the feeling of the ocean. And it runs down. There's some really pretty places. Ooh, I'm taking it out of the screen. Really pretty places on that one. There's another one down here. And there's the whale for that one too. I always worry when I make these really nice sculptures, and I always worry somebody's not going to be careful and they'll knock the sculpture. But when you buy something, you decide yourself if you're buying it for its function or its aesthetic and sculptural qualities. This one has really nice ocean feel to the water in the top there. You can see the whale. We've never seen a whale outside the studio here, but we have seen porpoises or dolphins. We weren't sure which it was. But, two more T-balls from that set. This one's pretty. The green, I think it has the mouse grey, and then the yellow oatmeal. And you can see the brown lines breaking through where the iron slip. Oh, that's that green, and it really does show the slip through it well. So this, as far as the transparent glaze is over the surface, or the translucent glazes, this one probably works the best. But I was going for subtle. I wanted it to be, you know, just to break the surface of the actual glaze rather than see the actual slip trailing, because I used to slip trail a lot. In fact, my first pottery, that's what I did. I set up a pottery doing English slipware. Let's see what we have here. Oh, a big blue one with the oatmeal over the, and then some brushwork on it and some fluting obviously on the bottom there. And I have trays for these ones too, little water trays to go underneath. Is that safe there? I think we're safe there. I'm going to quickly show you, I cleaned my studio just so you'd see this next bit. Alright, there I am. Let's take you around. So that's where we started. And these are the other planters I took out of the kiln. This one turned out really nice. So you saw me throwing these pieces. Alrighty, that's it. Nova Scotia saying goodbye.